Welcome back, fellow painters and decorators of the interweb, DIYers, amateurs, people just getting back into painting and decorating after being years away, or people just looking at getting into painting and decorating. Anyone can paint, not everybody can decorate, so the saying goes. Thankfully I'm here to teach you a few things. We have a joke, don't we? Still not heard from Porsche, but I do give out big thanks to the people who are pressing super thanks down at the bottom. You know who you are, I know who you are. Thank you very much. Right, today we're coming back to testing brushes. Now, there's been a few product testing brush videos there over the last number of weeks, few months. 12 months, have we done 12 months worth of testing and stuff? I'm not sure, but we've got some more NOUR brushes. Now these are entry-level brushes. Let me get them out for you. Here we are. These are the Smooth Finish. Now over the last number of weeks I've been trying some of the other NOUR brushes. We've had the Heritage and we've had the Brilliant Finish brushes. Now if I can just reach over here, because I've still got them out, brought them. We've got them there. Now, that playlist there of product testing has these brushes being reviewed. I quite like that, and I'm hoping I'm going to like these. That Brilliant Finish was a nice brush. Another entry-level brush. The Heritage brush, if you can remember what brushes were like of years ago, you'd probably say that's very much like a brush that you've used before 10, 20, 30 years ago. I mentioned that on previous videos. But these Smooth Finish brushes, let's get them out, are an entry-level brush. So value for money, they're up there. Just getting them out for the first time, because you know what I'm like for these videos. I like to try things that I've not tried before and do it straight off on Doris the Door. And I've never tested them before. So I'm getting them out. Now, oh, I've just got one out of the pack. That feels a nice handle. I go on about like a wood, non-varnished handle. First impressions, I think the handle's going to be a bit too short. It's very similar to the Brilliant Finish paintbrush. That said, it's not a big thing, it's not a deal breaker. I do like the longer handle, but I don't like the varnish on there. Let's just get rid of those. Right, I've got a pack of 3. You've got a 2-inch, which that's what we'll test on Doris the Door. We've got an 1.5 inch on a slash cut. You'll probably find with these more budget brushes, the packing, how much filaments are in a brush in that ferrule are probably less than a better quality brush. Not all the time, but sometimes. And then I've got an 1.5 inch, just straightforward paintbrush. Right, so I've got a slash cut. That's for cutting in round windows, cutting in round edges, ceilings, walls, usual, cutting in your skirting boards. And if you're in America, because these brushes are North American, more Canadian supplier, manufacturer of brushes, these ideal for trim. I said the rude word, trim. Right, without further ado, Hugh Pew Barnum McGrew. I'm going to get some paint out, and I'm trying to use these brushes with better quality paints. Sometimes I've used cheaper paints, but this is going to be a better quality paint, and a lot of you sing the praises of this. We've got a video on Johnstones Aqua Guard. It's a nice paint, and I'm going to coat up the top section of Doris the Door, and it's my first initial thoughts of what this brush is like, how the brush bristles pick up the paint, how it applies it, how it lays it off, how does it feel. Is it a brush that I would be using instead of an Arrowworthy, because I do like Arrowworthies. There's some product testing, watch them all there. So I'm going to get some paint out, I'm going to coat up the door, and let's see what we think of it. Got my paint out, got it in the paint kettle. Now, when I first tested this Aqua Guard paint, it was, oh, we'd got lovely weather. We've now back into the UK, we've got colder temperatures. You will find, colder the temperature, your paint will be a little bit thicker. This feels a little bit thicker. I don't want to thin it because I don't want to change the makeup of the paint. But if you do feel you just need a splash of water into it on these colder days, you can do. But I'm back in my studio stroke garage that I've converted, and I've got heaters on, so the paint's not freezing, it's just a bit thicker because it's cooler. Right, let's just quick read the instruction book. Right, smooth finish brushes. These are the NOUR Smooth Finish brushes. Smooth Finish brushes use a proprietary filament blend of painstaking brush building techniques to provide painters a fast and accurate brush cutting experience. Oh, excellent. Featuring a medium flex. I've mentioned about medium flexes before. Super sharp tips and silky smooth filaments. Oh, matron, silky smooth filaments. The Smooth Finish line is an entry-level professional brush, I mentioned that earlier, built for great performance. Well, can we ask for any better than that? Super excellent coverage, super sharp tips, easy to clean. I don't think we'd have any problem cleaning this out. We know Aqua Guard cleans out really well, and previous experience with the other brushes from NOUR, they've all washed out nice with bit of warm soapy water. Smooth brush flow, that's what we're looking for when we're laying off. And if you want to watch a video on how you paint a door, it's there, but you apply it with water-based paints, get it on as quick as you can, quickly lay it off, and with your tips of your bristles, just wipe down. You see what I'm doing? Just wipe down the tips and then just lay off. So let's see what we go. Let's see what we go like on this. I've just got two panels. I've got my mullion rails and we've got my latch rails, and I've got my top rail and stiles and stuff. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not doing these edges there. They've been painted up when I've previously done the other side of the door for product testing, but I think for now we can let's just move my camera. There we go. Just bang it on and let's see what we think. Right, pick up. We know we've got a good paint, so lovely. We know that's going to pick up nice. It's nicely on the brush. We're going Mouldings panel. Ooh. Do you know what? We know this is a nice paint. That, I would say, applies with this brush lovely. We might have a little bit of grinning from the paint, but I would say first initial application thoughts, that is a nicer brush than the Brilliant Finish. Very similar. Feels very similar, but feels a little bit firmer. And I'll say firmer because it's probably a bit more there's probably not much in it. There's a little bit shorter. What's the, need a little bit more in it than that. I think there is. There's a little bit more packing in there, and that's probably why that brush feels a bit better. I can't remember what this paint was that I'm going over. I'm just having a look around while I've got in my workshop. Might be Scuffex or it could be WRX, I'm not sure. Let's get these laid off with the tips. Not bad. Actual application of the paint's quite nice with this brush. I'm going to stop talking, let's fast forward it. Right, I've been away, washed the brush out. First initial thoughts. That paint, a little bit round for me, probably wanted a splash of water in, so I'm not saying I struggled to put it on, because I'm far from going to struggle to put it on. I put it on alright, just, I think for the flow, you'd probably just splash water. Not to worry, we're not talking about the paint. Very good paint though, that Aqua Guard. Let's talk about this brush. I would say that is better than the Heritage. You're going to say why? I prefer the firmness of that bristle. It's a bit shorter, you can see that. It's a bit shorter so you can actually apply the paint, crow's nest it, lay it off. These brushes you can use for any paints. Now, I've told you before, if you know, I'm telling my grandmother how to suck eggs, but when you're putting oil-based paints on, you crow's nest it every direction, wipe your brush down, horizontal lay it off, because you always lay off with the length of the piece of wood, door, anything that you're doing. So horizontal lay off to get it flowing out, and then literally wipe your brush down again, and then tips of the bristles would lay off with the length. Now, shorter brush got a little bit more control over it. That was a beautiful brush for, if you say I'm putting water-based paint on, that would be very nice, but for an oil-based paint, a bit shorter is nicer. I preferred that over that longer, even though that's a better quality, more expensive brush. I preferred that. What I didn't like about that is the handle. Now look at the handle length. You see that? Felt a bit short and stumpy. If you got, I've not got big hands. I've not. Look, that's the size of my hand. It's not massive. That felt a little bit awkward. Now I know the Brilliant slash cut is a longer handle. Look. You see these, like you see them like, and the slash cut on the Smooth Finish is also longer. Look at that. To me, that's, you've got something to hold and something to work, and you can move it around. That just felt a little bit short. I like the wood finish. I like those bristles. I like the packing, that there's a little bit more width on that than the only slightly, I'd say only slightly. There's not a lot in that, but it makes the difference. Let's just apart these bristles. Let's see what they're fixed in with. Because you get brushes they're fixed in with vulcanised rubber or resins now, or you might have like a block chock of wood holding them in. Let's see if we can, right, whether you can see it. That to me, yeah, that in there, if I really pull them apart, see what's down at the bottom. You've got three rows. You've got an outer, a middle, and another outer, and they're wedged in and trapped in by, it looks like a little filament of wood, which is, that's quite a good way of putting a brush together, I think. Better than just doing the stick them all in, glue them all in with vulcanised rubber or resins. So on the whole, I think that's a really nice brush. I'm not looking at that whether it's covered or not. I'm not really worried. A second coat on that would be quite nice with that Aqua Guard, but we've done Aqua Guard videos there. We're talking about this brush. That's a nice brush. If NOUR are watching, handle needs to be a bit longer. My thanks go out to Scott at Paint Monster. He sent me these brushes just to try. No money's changed hands, no sponsorship or anything. It was just a case, he's gave me a shout out and said, Phil, I've seen you doing product testing. Do you want to try these brushes that you've probably never heard of and have not heard of? But I'm actually impressed with that. And if you're looking for a brush that's not overly expensive, please check online. Paint Monster, I'll do a link in the bio. Paint Monster will be selling these, but that's actually a really nice brush, and if you just want a general day-to-day brush, that would be ideal. You could cut in with your emulsion with that as well as doing your woodwork paint. But I've got some videos coming up there because you're nearly finished with me, aren't you? That is a nice brush. I'm quite happy using that. I'd use that again I'd like a longer handle on it. That's all I'd say. I'd like a longer handle. The other brushes are nice as well, so I'm not discarding those, but that is probably out of the 3 that I've tested so far from NOUR, I'm preferring that over the other 2. And future videos, I'll compare, I'll go back to them because this is a first time test. We'll need to see what they feel like with different paints, which I'll do. But thanks for listening, thanks for the support. Give us a thumbs up. I like the thumbs up because it obviously makes me aware of people liking the content. If I get a thumbs down, I know you're not liking it, I can balance it. But to be honest, I'm doing a video because I want to do it. Nice brush. Impressed.